Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters wearing red today, and they've all turned out for what we're expecting will be a sensational event here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Bottas. Magnussen, the rookie, Joe, and Charles Leclerc. Mick Schumacher, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, and Ocon. Gasly, Vettel, Nicholas Latifi, and Daniel Ricciardo. Tsunoda, Stroll, Perez, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So here's how our strategy is looking for this race, and once again it is medium to hard, as it will be for most of the races this season probably. So let's get into the formation lap and try and get a good position on the grid. So I've parked myself really poorly there actually, I'm really far back. I braked a little bit too much by accident, so I'm in a really bad position for this start here. So the lights are on here, and to make up for that poor parking, I'm going to have to get a really good start off the line here. So let's hope I can do that. And I have got a really good start here. I've already got past Magnussen, I think. Or have I? He's sticking with me. I think I've just got past him, though. Oh, no, he's come back at me, actually. Hopefully no incidents in turn 1. I thought I was going to end up in the back of Bottas, then I thought I'd misjudged that, but I just didn't. And I've had a good exit out of that corner, so I'm already in 7th, but Magnussen's coming back up the inside here, leaving the space. He's gone around the outside. Might have forced him a bit wide there, but no contact, so I'm up into 7th place now. Leclerc is already past Magnussen. He's right on my tail here. I'm not even going to bother really fighting Leclerc because the Ferrari is so much better than I am. But Magnussen is now right again behind me here. Almost made contact with Leclerc there. Had to back out, so I didn't. And I've done that exit poorly there, and now Magnussen's going to have a chance to attack me. So I'm going to need ERS all the way along here. Hopefully with Magnussen alongside me, the Norris can't come at me. But Magnussen's alongside me here, so going to be pretty close going into this turn. Who's going to back out? Neither of us. Magnussen's tried to come across me and he's forced me a bit wide, and that's meant I've ended up back across in front of him. I've stayed ahead of him and he's gone wide out of that corner there. A lot happening behind me, but I've managed to stay ahead of Magnussen. And Leclerc already gaining a few places as well because he's already up to 6th. I think he started 10th. Not a great exit out of that corner, so Magnussen's going to attack me down here. I'm going to take the inside. He's gone on the outside. I don't think I'm going to be able to dive back up the inside here, or am I? I've just managed to stay ahead of him again. Don't think there's anything wrong with that move, just to keep ahead of him. So ERS down here and just try and make a bit of a gap to him, but he's gaining on me because he has got the better engine, I think. Magnussen is really close behind me now. I think he's going to go for a move around here. It's a dangerous place to do it. And I've stayed ahead of him, but I had to go very wide into that corner, and I've not taken a good line through it. And it's going to be so difficult to keep Magnussen behind because Haas do have the better car than we do. But after that, I'm hoping I can keep Norris behind because we have the better car than McLaren. But Norris is a very good driver, so it's going to be a tough one. And he's going to have DRS on me now, so he's gone on the inside there, which is interesting. I thought he'd take the outside, to be honest. And I might just have to let him go here, not waste too much ERS trying to stay with him when I'm not going to be able to. And now Norris is right up behind me. He's going to try and go for a move here. Going to try and squeeze him as much as possible. He's not backed out. But I have stayed ahead of him there. And he went a little bit wide. So hopefully I can gain a little bit of time off that. Going to use full ERS along here because I really want to get a second ahead of Norris. But it's not going to work. I'm not even going to bother using it anymore, actually, because I had a really poor exit from that corner. He's already gained so much on me. So I've got to save it for the straight where I'm actually going to be able to make use of it to stay ahead of him when he's got DRS. Oh, and it's actually Schumacher that's behind me now, not Norris. I assumed it was Norris, but ERS along here, but I'm going to have to stop doing this at some point because I'm already very low on ERS. Mick's going up the inside of me here, is he? He's not actually gone through. I thought he was going to, or at least come alongside me. I was so poor through that corner, so Schumacher's trying to make a move on me here now, but I think I've just about defended him well enough. But now he's going to try and move past me here, and there's not really anything I'm going to be able to do to stop this, I don't think. But now on this straight, I'm going to have DRS on Schumacher here, because he must have been ahead of me at the DRS activation zone. Norris is right alongside me, though, so I'm not even able to get the slipstream on Schumacher. And I'm going to have to brake a little bit earlier here so that I don't go into the back of Schumacher. And now Norris is past me, and this race really isn't going that well for me. Now Bottas is coming alongside me, I think. And I've gone really poor through there. It was actually Zhou, but trying to defend from Zhou, I was really poor through there. And now Schumacher's a second ahead of me, and I'm just dropping so far back now. I'm a bit frustrated with this, actually, how poor this is going.
Yellow flag.
Oh, yellow flag's up ahead. What's gone off here? And Bottas has gone off the track, so that is us back up into 10th position. So we're back in the points here. And there's a safety car, or is it a virtual safety car? It's a safety car, full safety car. So they want to say on the MFD, change early. So if I do change now, I will lose less time in the pit stop. So I think I'm going to change onto the hards early here. So coming in for an early pit stop here, and so is Piastri. But by the looks of it, I think a lot of other people are as well. And Haas are having to double stack. So if we can get the stop quick here and then get out ahead of them, hopefully we can do something with that. And we've ended up behind Norris, so pretty much in the same position, I think. And Zhou has really been helped by that pit stop because he's made his way up into 8th. He's on softs though, so we will have to pit again. But I think we were slowed down a little bit by other cars passing us in the pit lane, so we couldn't pull out. And we had an issue with the left front, I think it said. So I think we've not been helped as much as we could have been by that pit stop. Now I've finally caught the end of the safety car queue after going around the whole lap. So hopefully on the restart, we can do pretty well. But I'm not very good at safety car restarts, so I don't know.
Safety car in this lap.
So the safety car's coming in. Gonna have to get my tyres up to temperature along here now. I also need to be close to Norris because I need a good start here off the restart. So I don't want to be lagging far behind everyone. Prepared to go racing again. Gonna get right up behind Norris here. Try and get alongside him to get past as we go across the line. I actually got a good restart off the safety car then, I think. So I'm going to go down the inside of Norris here. Try and brake a little late. Try and make the move on the inside. And I have made it. So I'm up into 9th place now. And a lot is happening ahead of me. So I've been able to move myself a lot closer to the pack here. Although Ocon, I've had a poor exit out of that corner. And now Ocon's going to come past me. But I'm going to try and go back up the inside here. And as my engineer said, you can win that place back. And I've immediately done it. So nothing really lost there from Ocon going past me. Now I just want to stay with the pack ahead. Because I want to be able to get DRS on them when the chance arises in a couple laps time when it gets turned back on. Ocon's going to attack me down here though. A little bit of ERS on just to try and keep him as behind as much as possible. Then brake a little bit later into that corner. Keep him out and keep him behind. And I have done. Now I've got to get ERS on all the way down here just to try and stay with the pack, to be honest. Because Zhou was behind me before the pit stop and he was losing time to me. So even though he's on softs, I think I can be close to him in terms of time, but because he's behind Alonso and Alonso's a much better driver. So I don't know how things are going to work out. Hopefully they'll hold him up a bit and I can catch up to him, but I'm not sure. I'm under a lot of pressure from Ocon behind me, so I think it's probably only a matter of time until I crack and he gets past me. I don't really have enough ERS to risk using it all along here, but Ocon is going to be catching up to me here. I don't think he's got his wing open, so I don't think DRS is on yet. I think that'll be next lap, but he's going for a move down the inside here, but he's not been able to pull it off. But that line that I had to take has meant I've lost a lot of time now, and Norris is a lot closer as well. Now, as around this final corner, Ocon's going to have DRS on me, so I'm going to get my ERS on straight away and try and gain as much of a gap as possible before he can get that rear wing open. And he's not gaining as much on me as I expected, but he is still gaining, so that's not too bad, to be fair. He's not gained as much as I expected, and Zhou and Alonso are fighting ahead, so if they keep doing that, hopefully I can gain a little bit of time. Ocon's trying to move on me there, though. So I'm going to have to go wide here and then come in narrow here to try and keep him out, and I have done. And somehow I'm now in 8th position. I thought I was 10th, so I don't know what's happened ahead of me. There was a yellow flag, but I don't know what's going on. I didn't see any cars that I went past that were in the gravel or anything, so I'm now in 8th position, so I'm fighting for more now than I thought I was. At the same time, I've kind of also got less to lose, because before I could be overtaken once and I'd be out of the points, but now I can be overtaken twice and I still get a point. But not as much though, so I still want to hang on to the 4 that I'm going to get at the minute. And Zhou will have to pit again at some point, so hopefully that can mean I'd get extra points wherever I am from him pitting, because hopefully I'd get ahead of him. And hopefully Alonso could just keep holding them up while he's on his softs, so the softs don't actually give him as much gain as he expected. And there we go, Zhou is peeling off into the pits. So that will see us move up into 7th position. And I don't think I'm going to be gaining any more than this. I don't think I'm going to be getting any higher than that. And there we go, Ocon gets past me. And that was inevitable, to be honest. I didn't even really try to fight it because I need to save my battery for someone who I actually will be able to fight, like Norris, who's now right behind me. But if I can stay close enough to Ocon by the DRS zone, that'll really help me. Norris is trying it round here, though. Gone on the inside. Cut him up a little bit, I think, but I don't think there's been any harm done from that. And now Norris is going to try a move on me here, I think. He's gone around the outside. I've had to stay on the inside. I've gone a bit deep there and cut him off, but it's meant I've stayed ahead of him. And now, because of that, if I can get a second ahead of him by the DRS zone, I'm not going to be able to, I don't think, though. And it also means I'm not close enough to Ocon to have DRS on him. Although Norris and Schumacher were fighting behind me, so I'm going to use all my ERS along here to try and keep as big of a gap as possible while one of them or maybe both have DRS. Then I've just got to try and do a decent lap here and stay more than a second ahead of them by the DRS zone. And I've managed to do well enough to keep them out of DRS zone and stay over a second ahead at the start of this lap. So hopefully I can just keep doing that and keep them a second behind each lap. Now Schumacher in the faster car has got ahead of Norris, so I'd expect him to be getting DRS on me now, probably because he is a lot closer. So Schumacher's going to have DRS on me, but I don't think he'll have enough to get past me in this straight. So I'm not going to use my ERS, and I'm going to save it till the next lap when I can actually probably have to fight him, although he is getting very close. Okay, he has actually gained so much more in that straight than I thought he would. He almost overtook me. He gained like almost a whole second just in that straight. I don't know what's happened to Schumacher, but he is now behind Perez as well. So Norris and Perez have both overtaken Schumacher. I think I see it. He is behind Perez on the map. So I don't know what's happened to him, but maybe he locked up. The AI like to lock up on this game, so he might have locked up going into that corner and just ran really wide or something. But now it does mean I am again over a second ahead of the person behind me. And now Norris is a lot closer to me coming along here now. So he's going to have DRS into the next section. He's already right behind me, but right behind him is Sergio Perez, and then right behind him is Schumacher. So I'm going to need to get my ERS on straight away here and just use as much as I can down this straight, just to stay as far ahead as possible, because hopefully if Perez can overtake Norris before they get to me, I can keep Norris behind. And then if I brake here and they've gone either side of me and they've both gone wide, and that has meant I've just been able to go straight back through, and I've not even seen them in the rear view mirror. So I don't know what's happened to them, but They sort of went either side of me, sandwiched me. I just backed out, and Norris braked too late on the inside and just went straight into Perez and wiped him out into the gravel. So that's given a pretty big gap to from Gasly to Norris, I think. So that's meaning that there's a big gap now between 10th and 11th. So even if Gasly and Schumacher can overtake me here, there is a pretty sizable gap. Schumacher's going to try and move down the outside of me here. Going to bring it very narrow in there, go over the bumps, and then go a little bit wide. But I have stayed ahead of Schumacher, but he's going to try again. He's going to go around the outside here, and there's no point even trying to fight that, because I'll have DRS at the next zone, and I'm going to use it on him, but I don't think I'll even be able to stay with him. And Gasly is gaining so much time on me there. Oh my god. Going to stay wide round Gasly, around the outside, and I thought I'd stayed ahead of him there, but he's come back up the inside. But Gasly stayed with me along here, wheel to wheel with me, and he's ended up overtaking me in the end, but there's no one in my rearview mirror. Gasly's already getting away from me a bit, so I've got to use my ERS all the way along here just to stay close to him, just to keep and have the chance of getting DRS, which I'm going to be able to do. I've just got to try and keep with him here with the DRS, because I've not got enough to use ERS along here, so got to stay with him with the DRS. He doesn't have it on Schumacher, so hopefully this keeps me close to Gasly. I think I'm a bit close to Gasly this time, so hopefully if I get my DRS on here, I'm pretty sure I just saw his flap open. Even though he is 2 seconds behind Schumacher. No, okay, it didn't open. Must have just been a texture thing, but I'm closer to him this time, so I'm not as far behind as I was now after last time. If I just stay close enough to Gasly to keep getting DRS on him and maybe get a little bit closer each time, then hopefully I will build up enough ERS to be able to use that on him and overtake him again. Got a lot of ERS built up now, so I'm going to try and use as much as I can to try and get as close to Gasly as possible here. I'm getting really close in the slipstream here. Am I going to be able to make a move? I'm just not going to be able to. Just wasn't quite enough room there for me to make one. I'm a lot closer to Gasly now, so got my ERS on, got my DRS on, and I'm gaining on him. I've got the slipstream. Going to go to the inside here, try and outbrake him, move through the inside, and I've made the move. And now I'm up into 9th position with 3 laps to go. So I've managed to get a decent gap to Gasly after that lap. So I'm going to get my ERS on as much as possible as I can down here, just so he can't catch me with the DRS. And then hopefully within the next lap, I can get that gap to a second to keep him behind me. Again, coming onto this lap, don't have much ERS, but I think I'm just going to need to use as much as possible. Just every time we get the straight here, I'm going to need to use all my ERS just to stay ahead of Gasly. And if I can do that and just keep consistent laps up and just stay ahead of him well enough, even if he has DRS, I think I should be all right. But I've done a poor corner there and he's caught up with me. So everything I was just saying can just basically be ignored now, essentially. You try and move around the outside here. The inside is where I'd prefer to be through here. And I've managed to stay ahead of him there. It did go a little bit wide, but I stayed ahead of him. And now he is right behind me here. And we're on the final lap. And he's going to have DRS along here. And it's going to be so powerful. And I think he's going to get past me here. There's not really much I can do about it, to be honest. And he's just got way too far ahead of me to even be able to make a dive back up the inside there to stay ahead of him. So it's disappointing that Gasly overtook me again in the end, but we are going to come home in 10th position, which still isn't awful. I would have preferred a few more points, especially after starting 7th on the grid, but after that really poor start, just tumbling down the order, I've managed to get myself a point, so it's not a great result, but a point is better than nothing. So on the podium, we have Sainz, Leclerc and Russell, so I think that's the first podium for anyone outside of Red Bull and Ferrari here this season. So after a poor sprint race and starting 10th on the grid, Charles Leclerc has managed to come through and win the race, beating pole sitter Carlos Sainz. But then Russell retaining his position in 3rd and getting that podium, so pretty good from him. And Kevin Magnussen, he did pretty well. I'm pretty sure he was awful in qualifying, was down in like 16th or somewhere, so he's had a good sprint and a good race and managed to get himself 5th. Then Gasly getting his first points of the season as well. I said I was surprised that Tsunoda got all their points, but not anymore. But unfortunately, Piastri dropped down a few places, so that's not great. And Hamilton ended up in 12th, and Perez not able to make his way to the points from the back, so that's interesting as well. And Zhou and Bottas both ended up near the back as well. So not a great time for Alfa Romeo either. So all considered, I think we were a bit fortunate to get 10th because I don't think we had a very good race and the cars around us just had more pace than us. So I think we got a very fortunate 10th place there. After that race, our energy store cells positioning upgrade has completed. And now we've got a lot of R&D to make another upgrade here. So I could do another chassis upgrade and buy this engine cover one because it's a massive chassis upgrade. But I think I'm going to get this spark plug upgrade because in that race, I noticed we were really struggling with straight line speed against the cars. We're a lot slower, so I think I need some extra engine speed. So I'm going to go for this one and hopefully that'll come in before Spain. But I still got 935 R&D points, so I'm going to get this gearbox upgrade as well because it's only 80 and it will help a bit with the durability. And our durability is the worst out of everyone at the minute, so this will help. It'll unlock some few other things as well, hopefully. And I'm going to go for the heave dampers upgrade as well to improve tyre wear even more. So hopefully in races I can run soft to hard instead of medium to hard. So hopefully I can get a little bit of extra pace. So hopefully that'll be done by Spain. So I've got a marketing department event here, so let's take a look at this. So we can get 1,000 acclaim and lose 50k or nothing. So I'm taking the 1,000 acclaim. So I've got another marketing department event here and it's the same thing again. So we'll take the acclaim again. And just before the end of this episode, I want to show you the standings. So now we have some points and Williams are the only team without a point now. And hopefully I can kick on from here and get some more points now. Now, as you can see, Leclerc has regained his lead at the top of the standings, or he's put a big gap to it. I know at the start of the race in Imola, they were really close, Verstappen and Leclerc were, but now there's a pretty big gap between them. And now only 5 drivers without points, which is both Williams, then unfortunately Piastri and Stroll and Joe. So hopefully Piastri can change that. But anyway, that is the end of this episode. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to carry on watching this series, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.